Okay.
All right, Monica, you were just asking me a question, and I think that this question is relevant to all coaches, and I'd love to answer it for you. But can you ask it again?
Sure. I was just wondering how you got started with Take Shape for Life and what attracted you to it. I've always admired you in the business of health, and I'm not quite sure what drew
Yeah.
you to it and your path.
Well, it's really neat when I think about it. It started, really looking at frustration, and I know you kind of go. It started with frustration. Well, no, I was very excited about being a fitness professional. Very excited about being a health educator, and traveling the world and winning awards and doing all that and making a great income. But very frustrated with the actual results because the results weren't just financial. That's not what I was really looking for, and I didn't know that until 20 years of being in the fitness industry and then realizing that the success rate of people who join gyms and personal trainers were so low. And I noticed that in my own facilities, how many new clients I had to attract every year to replace the ones that were falling off. But the greater number was the number of clients who were still working out with us, but yet were not achieving their goals. They started off with the best of intentions. Maybe they lost 15 to 30 pounds, 40, and then what would happen is they'd go on a vacation or they'd go on some family tragedy would happen. Something would just take their focus off a new job, a new relationship, anything life event, kind of happening. And I was like, what is this? Like what happened? Where'd they go? And then they feel guilty. So they wouldn't call for a month or two. And finally they're like, I got to do something. The pain got so great. And they call back, coming with their tail between their legs. Fortunately, I was a loving, caring kind of personality. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I understand stuff like that happens. And I'll take your money and I'll train you again. And before you know it, this cycle, and being in the industry for this many years, I had a chance to see this pattern. And one day, I remember I looked over at my fiance, Jill, who's now my wife, and I looked and I said, honey, I'm selling the health club, and I'm going to coach people in their mindset to make a true transformation and shift. I'm going to find an organization or a partnership with somebody who's doing this well, because this has got to be in the mind. Because every successful person I know made a true mental, emotional shift, and then all the physical things in their life started coming as a side effect. And Dr. Anderson said it best, and I think he's part of my story now. He said, and he probably got this from someone else. I'm positive he got this from someone else. All things are created twice. First in your mind, and then in reality. You have to have vision. You have to dream it. You have to see it, and then it happens. And I said, how can I awaken that motivation in others? And that's when Take Shape for Life kept coming up. It just kept popping up. People kept mentioning it. I went, Johns Hopkins University mentioned it. And finally, a friend of mine who had lost a lot of weight, who was keeping it off, said, Alex, I thank you for all your training, but this is what has helped me make the shift in the support in the people. And I said, I got to figure out what this is. And then that's when I decided to partner and start teaching people how to move towards a healthy mind and not just work out their healthy body. So the real brunt of my story is I used to get paid to teach people to out-exercise their bad eating habits. And now I teach them how to have healthy habits to where exercise is just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love doing it as a coach. And now I get paid really well to help people achieve their goals, and it's great. So, yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And one thing I want to say about sharing your story, did you guys hear yourself in that story at all? Did you relate to it? Did it connect with you at all?
Yes.
What parts of it? I just want to, just for the sake of us sharing this on a recording, what parts connected with you? What parts were familiar?
Well, I think the very last thing that you said about, what you were doing with people, training them to work out their bad habits.
Out exercise habits, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I'm like, that is totally me. I mean, it's like, I want those potato chips and I want that cheese, so that means I got to go run 5 more miles.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of looking at, really, that's not helping my health and all of those other things. So yeah, that totally resonated with me.
Mm.
And it resonated with me as well, being one of your past clients, Alex. When I was working with you, I was in the best shape of my life. And then when I wasn't working with you, it just started going south. And then I found myself 10 years later, even heavier than I was before I started with you a long time ago. So it's kind of like having the tools now of the trainer in my head,
Mhm.
the healthy habits in my head, instead of just go to Alex and Alex makes me, look better. So,
Key words
yeah.
there was Alex makes me, and that's what a lot of professionals, doctors, trainers, and other practitioners like that, we're taught to make you, to tell you, to give you the answer. But what we're not taught is to coach you and find out your motivation for why you want to do these things.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The other 23 hours of the day that I'm not kicking your butt in a boot camp, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
you
that's
do
it.
that too. Yeah.
And I think that's powerful. Again, the moral of sharing this with you is that I wanted you to see that you could hear yourself or see yourself in my story, which is the key to sharing your story is not to talk about yourself. The key to sharing your story is to find the common connection points that other people can relate to. So I want you to know I've crafted that story in multiple ways, and sharing it with you. What I was looking for was maybe they could relate. Maybe, I don't know, they could relate to trying to achieve a goal and it's getting only so far, only to fall back to their old way. Maybe they could relate to investing in their health before, not succeeding, feeling guilty about not doing it, and having to kind of come back with your tail between your legs and do it all over again. Something I didn't share in my story that sometimes I've shared is that, you know what, it downright frustrated me to see clients not coming back to support with me because they were so embarrassed that they didn't even want to give it another try. And I thought, wait a minute, what's my responsibility in that? What could I have done to coach this person to help them to actually realize this is a journey? This isn't about exercise. This is about what they want. And I was missing it. I thought this was about exercise and being fit. No, they want to have health and fitness for a reason. It's about their grandkids. It's about their kids. It's about their friends. It's about those moments of magic that they're going to experience life and the joy and the pleasure. And I didn't know that. And now I'm glad I do. So when you share your story, my encouragement is it's not about you. Your story, yes, you're going to talk about your story, but your story is about relating to the human being and that's in front of you. The soul that's in front of you is the most important thing. Keep your story short and to the point. And if you know somebody's struggling, talk about how you struggled. Talk about how much pain it was to do this. And finally, you found a program that actually, finally you found people in support. Okay, program I think it's a downer word. Finally, I found people in support that works. And you know what? This is a journey now. This is about my healthy lifestyle. It's no longer just about fat loss. That's going to happen. I know it now, but I'm on purpose. Ooh, that wakes it up. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yes, I definitely agree 100%.
Right on. So I'm just going to give this little recording a little finish up. If you are watching this and you'd like to learn how to share your story effectively, there are some webinars and we have some specific coaching that we do to help you know how to create your 1-minute success story and to be able to share that to actually connect with other people. So get back with your mentor, coach about how and what's next for you. And then if you learn this and take the time, I promise you, you will not regret all the people that you help by getting out of your own way and learning how to confidently share your story. And before you can confidently share your story, you have to take those baby steps. And it usually takes about, I'd say, 10, 20 times of sharing it and stumbling a little bit before all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness, I got it. It's working. Other people are really connecting with it. So the first one you share, typically not. The second, the third, it took me about 5 to 7, I found. 5 to 7 times of practicing it, refining it. And so you got to start with the first ugly one, right? And you might do better than me. I'll be honest. I find my coaches are better now because I didn't have the kind of mentoring in the beginning on how to share it, but now we've evolved as a company and as an organization on how to teach it. So get back with your mentor coach and they'll help you out. So thank you guys for being on this with me and for your willingness to give feedback.
Sure.